Unacademy. Let's crack it.
Hello everyone, this is Chandramouli in front of you, and yes, we have a special guest in front of us, that is Narayan Amit Malampati. And you must know that this was his second attempt, and he did not take the service in the previous attempt. Even he had a rank, he did not take the service. He had a great desire for IAS, maybe that post and maybe that all such zeal around it. And I think God willing and his hard work, he has secured this year. 70th rank. Narayan Amit, I welcome you to this session, and I really want you to be spilling out what actually you did this year, maybe prelims, maybe mains, and from 289 to 70, getting your desired post is something that you would really want to share with us. Over to you, Narayan Amit ji, and I would really want you to start with some background linkage of yours.
So, good evening to all members. My name is Narayan Amit, and I have secured rank 70 in the UPSC Civil Service examination of 2021. I have graduated from IIT Kanpur in chemical engineering, and I think I had a little interest in civil service and I wanted to be a civil servant. So even during college, little bit I used to prepare, not much. So I graduated one semester early from college and gave the 2020 attempt. In that I got 289 rank. But still, I wanted to be in my first preference, that is IAS. So again, I gave the exam, and this time I got 70 rank. My optional is Anthropology, and I have prepared. I'm staying at Hyderabad, so I have prepared from home only.
Great, sir. I would really ask you a question. No, this prelims has been becoming a dicey game all these years, and you got good score in GS. So I would want you to please explain to all of us, how does this thing work for you? And then you come back to the CSAT part again, the comprehensions and plus the difficulty level is increasing so much. इसको कैसे टैकल किया जाए? मतलब शायद एक GS में तो कॉन्फिडेंस आना चाहिए, CSAT भी आजकल डरा रहा है, उससे कैसे कंट्रोल किया जाए? आपसे सुनना चाहेंगे जरूर.
So जो आपने जो क्वेश्चन पूछा है वो बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है और बहुत सारे पहलू है इस क्वेश्चन के. So I'll address each one of them in different parts. Firstly, with respect to GS1 paper, that is the first paper, definitely it is a trend that since the last 3-4 years, the difficulty of the paper has become very much. And I took the prelims exam very seriously, helped me in getting good scores. Last year I had got, I think, 109 in prelims. And this year, I think my key has not been released because I had applied for a forest service also. But in my view, I think anywhere I should get from around 140 this time. So, why I got a good score? I think there are several reasons to it. The first and most foremost thing is that I have done the previous year questions very well. I think any aspirant should, at least from 2011 onwards, when there was a pattern change in the prelims exam, from 2011 to 2021, I think there are 11 years of question papers, and each question paper has 100 questions. So 1100 questions you must be able to remember on the back of your hand. And especially because the options of the previous question, they help you to eliminate new question. I can clearly share that in 2021, at least 15 questions were repeated from themes of past years, at least 15 questions. So that is 30 marks. And that is the reason why the score has increased from 105, 110 to 140. So doing PYQ and able to remember it is very important. Ab maine bol diya PYQ, but it is not so easy to do actually. It takes a lot of time. For me, each paper to solve it properly, understanding the options, doing the background research, then remembering the statements is a very long process. It almost used to take me 8 to 9 hours to do for one paper. So 70 to 80 hours of investment is required. But without solving PYQ, definitely you're at a disadvantage compared to that. And the second aspect is that in the paper, you have to focus. In 2 hours is there. You cannot be fooling around left, right. You have to just look on the paper, apply your basic logical skills, and then solve the paper. In the sense I'm meaning for this is that some people don't focus on the 2 hours. They're slightly distracted or worried that about something else. So must focus on the paper for the 2 hours. Now coming to the mocks, I personally did not give 70 or 80 mocks. I probably gave around maybe 25-30 in the first attempt, and in the second for the second one I only gave, I think, 6 or 7 mocks. So unlike many people who give a lot of mocks, I have not given many mocks. And one thing with regard to mock is that we should not be living in some fear of missing out all the time. And mock is like a different thing, and rail exam is something different. So those are slightly different. We should not be too worried if the mock marks are not so good. And that is the reason why PYQ also become more important.
राइट सर. और बिल्कुल आपने एक जो सही चीज बोली है कि आजकल का जो माहौल चल रहा है कि व्हेन दे गिव द मॉक टेस्ट और नंबर कम आया तो सब डिसअपॉइंट हो जाते हैं कि नंबर ही नहीं आ रहा है. बहुत अच्छा एक मैसेज भी जाना चाहिए आज कि दिस एक्चुअली द मॉक टेस्ट इज फॉर यू टू डेवलप द क्वालिटीज। आप वहां डरे नहीं, इसलिए पहले ही सीख लें। सर छोटा सा एग्जांपल देना चाहेंगे। आई थिंक हम लोग यहाँ इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे कॉम्बैट कराते हैं और काफी हर संडे ऑलमोस्ट होता रहता है, तो टेस्ट बहुत सारे होते हैं, प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस को ही यूज करके करते हैं। तो आई वुड से जब भी लर्नर्स लाइक व्हेन दे आस्क मी आल्सो, आई सेड कि आप अटेम्प्ट करने से, मान लीजिए एक बार गलत हो गया तो अगली बार शायद आपका सही होगा एग्जाम में। एग्जैक्टली जो आपने 7-8 घंटे एक प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन के एक पेपर पे दिया है, उससे आपने यही देखा होगा कि एक क्वेश्चन सिर्फ अकेला क्वेश्चन नहीं है, उसमें 3-4 स्टेटमेंट थे, वो खुद अपने में 4-5 क्वेश्चन बना सकते थे। एंड आई थिंक दैट वुड बी अ ग्रेट लर्निंग इफ द एस्पिरेंट्स स्टार्ट फॉलोइंग कि हमें प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन को करना है और उनमें से क्या आ सकता है ये भी सोचना होगा। सर सीसैट के ऊपर थोड़ा सा आप बताएं कि सीसैट आई थिंक काफी चीजें बदल रही हैं, एंड डू यू थिंक ये थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट होते जा रहा है और उसके लिए प्रिपेयर रहना पड़ेगा?
But I think simply, even if you don't join any test series also, the PYQs are a very good source only. Apart from the 2-3 more points I'd like to say on GS paper 1 before I come to GS paper 2. One thing is that I think there are two types of questions in GS paper 1. One question which is very tough, which is not many people are getting, like what is the difference between Mitaksha and Daibag in 2021? If such questions you are missing, that is not a major issue. But if you are missing the question, what is 8th August started? It is the Quit India movement. Such questions, if you miss, you are going back in the cutoff. So that is definitely one major thing. And with regard to how to attempt the paper, I used to do it in 3 iterations. And after making one MCQ, I used to bubble the thing because I felt that it gave me 20-30 seconds of mental relaxation. And if I would eliminate 2 options in any question, definitely 100% I would attempt that question. If I did not eliminate any option, I would leave that question. And if 3 options, 1 option I eliminated, it depends on my own wisdom whether I attempt it or not. So this is with regard to paper 1. And especially with regard to quality and economy, since in the last 3-4 years, the questions have been direct. So maximize, especially make 2-3 guesses in the first paper. So do not check on the internet what is happening in the first paper, because CSAT is becoming very difficult now. And with regard to CSAT, I think there are comprehension or one mathematics is a very risky strategy for CSAT nowadays. You need to be able to do some questions of both of them, because some questions in math are very tough, some questions in comprehension are very tricky and vague. So you should do the easy questions in both of them to cross the cutoff. I myself am an engineer, but I feel that the paper is not very easy. It is reasonably tough only. And in 2020, I had got 135. But in 2021, I got only 95. So the worst feelings in the, at least if you solve 2-3 papers, that mental block of solving the mathematics and comprehension questions will be not there. And that will be very helpful for the aspirants.
बिल्कुल, आई थिंक तो सिर्फ एक पे रिलाई नहीं करना है, आपको कॉम्प्रिहेंशन को भी स्ट्रेंथ बनाना है, और ये नहीं कि मैथ्स छोड़ के जा रहे हैं, तो थोड़ा बहुत चीजों को करना ही पड़ेगा क्योंकि पेपर का डायनामिक्स बहुत अलग हो गया है।
And one thing
इसको
is
क्लियर करने के बाद
but, there are some comprehensions that are very tricky, like 3-4 statements might be correct. So not spending too much time on any question is important. If you spend 6-8 minutes on any question, then you're stuck on it. Either it is mathematics or comprehension. So this movement through the questions is very important in CSAT, so that you at least solve 45, 50, 60 questions. So that is all. That is my personal view.
स्कोर देख के, लाइक आपका स्कोर देख के तो शायद एक सीख है कि लाइक अगर जीएस में अगर हमारा कमांड हो जाए और सीसेट का भय निकल जाए, एंड आई थिंक फिर तो प्रीलिम्स को रोक ही नहीं सकता कोई। खैर, हम लोग जब मेंस में आते हैं तो पहले तो आपसे एक अनुरोध रहेगा कि एंथ्रोपोलॉजी का जो आज ये पूरा आपका रहा है और आपने इसको कैसे किया है, ये आज थोड़ा सा विस्तृत बता दें प्लीज। हैव सम डिस्कशन ऑन दिस सो दैट द लर्नर्स कैन लर्न अबाउट कि हमें एंथ्रोपोलॉजी जो चुनने जा रहे हैं उनको क्या लाभ और कैसे मिल सकता है, वो थोड़ा सा बता दें आप।
With respect to mains, like I feel that there are some areas which are strong for a student and some areas which are normal for a student. So I think only in areas where I can add value to the student only I should talk about those areas. And in my view, those areas which I've identified based on my performance in the last 2 years are either ethics or anthropology. So in that, just 1 minute. So extremely sorry for the, so there was a not to do. So I'll just continue from where I left off. So in my view, the strength points are anthropology and ethics for me. and you can say to some extent GS2. So if someone were to ask me about GS1 and GS3 and essay, I would probably say that there are other better people to consult than me. But with respect to anthropology, I will explain and elaborate what I got. Last year I had gotten 257 marks, and this year I have gotten 306 marks, which I think is one of the highest in anthropology, maybe the highest also, I'm not exactly sure. So that is an increase of, I think, 49 marks in only anthropology. That has pushed the rank from 289 to 70. With regard to that, I think the effort which I put in anthropology from the first to second attempt has been much more. I think almost all the time between the first and second attempt I had only spent on anthropology, and that has proved to be a wise investment. With regard to anthropology, it is a very good subject, but I think there is one common myth that it is a short subject we can do in 3-4 months. I think that is completely not true. It took me at least, I think, 9 months of preparation to be very good in anthropology and get this kind of marks. So anyone who wants to get like very good marks, 300 plus, at least I think 8 to 9 months is required for that much. And I would, without getting into too much specific, it is like building on the previous topper who has done in anthropology. Like last year, some people have done, they have made some notes or some insights they have given. And after reading their notes, I can make a slightly better answer of their version by adding 1-2 points, by converting into flowchart or doing something. So I think that's an incremental approach that has been followed in anthropology for last 5 years. And there's a good culture of each topper adding something to that. So I think that throughout these 5 years, that's why anthropology has got a good result in my opinion.
So आप sir, जैसे anthropology people speak about that it requires some schematic diagrams, it requires a lot of hand making things. Do you make your original ones, or do you want to have it from some standard books or elsewhere? What is your idea?
So anthropology is one subject, but within that one subject, there are around 6 subjects in anthropology. There is a lot of biology, there is a lot of archaeology, there is a lot of sociology that is involved in anthropology. So I think it's 3, 4, 5 subjects which are completely different. So it is a very piecemeal approach. Some topics you have to study from somewhere, some topics from somewhere. So there is no one book that one can refer to. There are more than, I think, 20 books which you have to selectively refer to get the answer. So there is a lot of compilation that is involved to get one answer. And once you remember the answer, then you have to reproduce in the exam. That is the main thing. So getting the perfect answer to get highest marks is the challenge in anthropology.
Right. And coming to this ethics question paper, I think last 5-6 years, even the ethics question paper has been gaining this dynamicity, and maybe the case studies now have settled down, and the case studies almost, if you prepare a framework, you can still try to produce and reproduce whatever you have learned. But when it comes to the theoretical part and the dynamicity, what is your approach, and how would you want the learners to have this approach now?
So with respect to ethics paper, I think one important insight is that people don't focus on the 10 markers as much. There's a lot of emphasis on case studies, whether they are becoming easy or tough, but I think 10 markers are very, very important. Especially, I think in this year paper, I think 5-6 pages were there for each of the case study. And if you keep on filling 5-6 pages in each of the case study, it takes more than 1.5 hours to finish the 120 marks of case study. So consequently, the 130 marks that are there for the 10 markers, those are heavily compromised, and that leads to reduction of the score. So attempting the 10 markers is very useful. And one approach is that ideally you should have at least 10 to 15 schematic diagrams which are very common and can be used generally in ethics. So only 2-3 pages notes I had for the schematic diagram, which I just revised before the exam, and almost I think 10 to 12 diagrams I had put in the ethics paper. So I think that was the reason for getting 114 in ethics, which I think is a very good score this year. Maybe 125 is something around that is the highest, but I think 115 is a good score in ethics.
Yeah, it's a good score. It's a good score. और थोड़ा सा इस पे प्रकाश भी डालिएगा कि जब आप तैयारी करते हैं, like when you would have begun the last to last year, जब हुआ होगा, तो एकदम आपने जब चालू किया होगा, तो पहली चीज आपके दिमाग में क्या थी कि मुझे शायद यही स्ट्रैटेजी बनानी है या फिर इसी तरह चलना है? आपके दिमाग में कुछ तो एक इमेज आया होगा.
So I don't think I can recall actually what went through my mind. It's been a long time, I think 2 years. But one thing I can say is that on YouTube, I have seen many strategy videos, especially of anthropology and other topics. So for example, whichever subject I had out, how to do, for example, geography preparation. So just type geography preparation and which stage of the exam, prelims or mains, and you will see one topper talk or some documentary, something like that, which tells you 30-40 minutes mein ye karna hai. And you can see on Telegram also, my channel is also there, many other channels are also there, that where toppers say what they have done, what book lists they have followed. So following the basic thing that all toppers have done and revising that, I think is essential. And nowadays, I feel that more than guidance, there is a lot of misguidance on YouTube and other platforms, in the sense that a person is formed. So much information is there, where to start is becoming very difficult. So I think maybe there is a need for a master video to see which videos to watch.
But then the master videos can also be flooded. Everyone would be making a master videos there. So it's never ending thing. But yes, of course, you have posed your faith like you were with us. You were there. Would you like to speak something on this platform, for this platform? How it is going to help the learners, how it could help?
So yeah, I think I need to be very clear on this. So with respect to Unacademy, my role has been that I have watched Unacademy Plus videos, but I have only watched the videos of two toppers, that is two teachers, that is Mrunal sir and Sudarshan Gurjar sir. Primarily only these two videos I watched. I have not watched any other educator, so I don't have any idea about other educators. But I can say about Mrunal sir especially, but and Sudarshan Gurjar sir also. But apart from that, I have not watched any other educator on Unacademy, so I can't say apart from them.
Not a problem. Actually, the platforms are there to help. And it is from where we can try to take our light and maybe get benefits. My next question would be about the interview round. Did something surprise you in the interview from you, since you have been from IIT? Were you expecting such sort of questions, or some different thing happened there?
So I don't think my interview was a very anything unique thing happened. Both the years, I think it was a very smooth, cordial process, and they asked very normal, natural questions only. So I don't think anything out of the ordinary happened. Very simple questions were there to test the knowledge and the intellect and opinions about basic things. So I think my interview was very straightforward, both the attempts. So I think that's a good thing that happened to me.
Okay, and can you tell a feeling about while you were sitting in the interview board and the 5 people were looking towards you? What was the feeling that you were having that particular moment when they were asking questions? And I know that they don't react to your questions or do your answers. They are just sitting. So what emotions did you have that moment?
So actually, I had not thought much about this. My focus was only on making the answer, structuring the answer and thinking about the answer. So I had not much time to think about anything else. I was only thinking about how to frame the answers. That's what I can say.
So the questions were majorly from the DAF or from some other fields also?
I think they were 50% from DAF. You can say 50% from current affairs, whatever news happened that 1 week. And a little bit of chemical engineering, few materials. They asked, what is this material? What is that material? So I think it was mostly a little varied, but not DAF and current affairs, I could say mostly.
Right. And just few points for this prelims examination as it is approaching now. And the learners might be interested to know about what they can do right now. Like it's too late now, but yes, whatever you would like to tell them.
So definitely prelims is a very tough exam. And I think personally, if you were to take a poll of all the toppers, whoever have given this exam, I think vast majority will say that prelims is the most scariest thing for them. And in fact, I can tell you that if you were to ask me this question 2 days before, I was scared for the prelims exam. So I think it's very natural. And I was preparing PYQs only before this result came. And I think due to grace of God, I got the result. But if you were to ask me 2 days before, I am also scared of prelims exam. Yeah.
So any tips for them, like what to do in the last few moments that are remaining for it?
I think not many. I can't give any tip that will drastically change anything. But only thing is that confidence is important and being cool on the day is important. Whatever you have revised, not revised. I think Mrunal sir says one thing, that even if the exam is postponed by 6 months, even after 6 months, still people will feel that we have not revised properly. Even I feel I have not revised properly. So that fear of missing out is perennial. And right. I think just being cool is important on the D-Day.
So that would be great. I think the learners would have got a lot of insights today. Thank you so much, Narayan ji, to be with us, and we wish you all the best. And let's have maybe some more charming sessions if you would like to give about ethics, maybe some anthropology. We would surely like to talk and help the learners. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much.
Unacademy. Let's crack it.